It's been months of quarantine, and during these challenging times, women all over the country have raised their voices and used their platforms to extend help to frontliners and people who need it most. We continue to celebrate the amazing work of Filipinas everywhere, but in a socially distant way. Chef Waya Wijangco, welcome to Leading Women.
Thank you, Angel. Nice to be here.
It's nice to meet you, Chef, on Zoom. How have you been?
Well, it's been, it hasn't been the best 5 months of our lives. So it's been difficult and challenging, but we're hanging on.
How are the staff doing?
Well, our staff has been living here since March. So we decided to all go on quarantine to make them safe from infection when they commute or community transmission. So we made the decision that everybody would live here on site. Sobrang na-team building na kami ng bonggang-bongga. Living together for the past 5 months.
Nag-bond na kayo ng bongga, and you mentioned that you've been the staff has been there in the restaurant. You have your background, beautiful background of Gourmet Gypsy Art Cafe, your restaurant, Chef, which has a very beautiful story. Please tell us about that.
Yeah, we opened Gourmet Gypsy in 2014 as a laboratory for a school, open hand school. So I run a school for young adults with special needs. So we teach them cooking, other vocational skills. And when we opened Gourmet Gypsy, we wanted to use it to test whether our system of teaching them works. Our goal was to get our students employed. So we wanted to put our money where our mouth is and actually employ them. We want to be the first employers of students from our school. So that's how Gourmet Gypsy started. So when we began, 30% of our staff in Gourmet Gypsy had special needs. And they worked in all areas of the restaurant, sa dining, sa back office, sa kitchen, sa bakery. So we wanted them to be exposed to different kinds of work in a real world setting.
Children who have special needs, why are they close to your heart, Chef?
Siguro I'm always for the underdog. 12 years back, I had a student who enrolled in my summer cooking class, someone who had autism. So from that class, nag-grow yung mga students. Siguro kumalat sa community ng SPED na there's this chef who would accept students with special needs. And then suddenly I had so many students. And working with them, I realized that, we have to get them to work. They have to have the same kind of access to work. They can earn their own money, if they can have a reasonable measure of independence, then you're setting them up for life. So that's how we decided to build Open Hand School. The grocery was actually part of our plans for the school. Kasi some of them will go into retail, will go into... So this allows them to practice something like that, which is also why we chose the grocery as a pivot during the pandemic. It's really amazing when you see these young adults. They grow in confidence because of the kind of environment that we encourage in the school. Those who work with us, pag sweldo, nagpaplano sila to watch movies together or go to the park together and, having some sense of normalcy.
It's so nice to hear the stories of how they've grown, how they love the community they're in, how they love being around you, Chef. And you mentioned the grocery. Businesses have closed down because of the pandemic, and unfortunately, kasali yung business nyo sa mga yon. How did you feel about that, and what was going through your mind when this happened?
Well, when early in March, actually February pa lang, by Valentine's, we felt that the shift in the market. Mababa ng sales. Valentine's is usually even better than Christmas for most restaurants. So, but we didn't feel that this year. And then sales started dropping as people became more afraid to go out. And then when lockdown finally was announced, nobody was prepared. Nobody was prepared. And then we were under the impression that it was going to be 1 month. But siguro mga late April, we knew that it was not going to be lifted. And we knew that the world has shifted.
How about encouraging, Chef, your customers, those who have been going to the restaurant, and those who are getting to know Gourmet Gypsy Art Cafe to go online, shop online, and still get their goodies despite the pandemic?
Yes, for example, in Gourmet Gypsy, we designed our shop so that you can get ready to heat. Luto na, initin mo lang. Now, if your cooking skill level is a little higher, we have mga ready to cook, the things that you need to put together to make a meal. Then we also have some raw, frozen, and so that if your skill level is high, we have things that you can, play around with. We have spices that are hard to get. We have baking corner that has specialty flours, specialty ganyan, so that if you're in sourdough baking, we all have to support each other in different ways to cope through the quarantine. So that's what we're hoping, the service we're trying to provide.
Up next, we'll learn more about the major changes Chef Waya encountered during quarantine. Coming up on Leading Women. People often say, this is the new normal. But entrepreneur and chef Waya Wijangco thinks and feels otherwise. You mentioned coping, you mentioned service, your efforts to help the frontliners, your efforts to be there for them, Chef.
Yeah, I mean, sa akin, when you can, you must. We're in a position to deliver these things. I've been doing community feeding projects since way before ongoing. So when this crisis happened, was our networks all text lang, and suddenly we're here. We're doing frontline feeding. I was working with Salamat PH Healthcare Heroes and Frontline Feeders PH. So through them, I was able to deliver over 50,000 meals in the first 50 days of quarantine. And then now, I'm also with Resto PH. It's an association of restaurant owners that we formed during ECQ to support each other. So now we've also did the food drive, and we've been providing frontliner meals since last week. So we always tell them, you have to give them good food because nutritious food is PPE also. Okay. So it's our way of protecting them also and boosting their morale.
So you've shared all these stories, you've shared all your efforts. The new normal, dami nga nagsasabi, eto na yung new normal. But then again, other people are saying, what is normal about a setup like this? What are your thoughts on this, and how do you move forward given the present and future situation?
Well, I refuse to call it a new normal. This cannot be normal. There's people are going hungry. The joblessness is at an extreme. So we cannot say na, ito na yan eh. Diba? We have to move for change. We cannot accept that this is it. So, no, it's not a normal. I mean, with Resto PH, every week we get reports of hundreds of restaurants closing every week. Hundreds. And that translates into thousands of jobs. So, in Metro Manila alone, we're looking at 250,000 jobs lost in the restaurant industry, lost forever. I'm sure it will recover because we're Filipinos. We're very social people. We cannot help but celebrate everything together. And every celebration, we need to break bread together. And sabi ko nga, parang I'm always hopeful. When I did the frontline feeding program, the amount of generosity that passed through us was incredible. Just incredible. Naiyak ako every time I think about it, how people showed up for others. So I think that's where our hope lies in, that people show up for others.
What do you hope for given this situation, given what we can only do?
This is one thing that I think I got from COVID. Is I pray for clarity. You know who you stand for. You know what you stand for. Diba? There's no question whatsoever. You know, where you are at every moment in time and what you stand for. I think it's something that's super important.
You support them, and in turn, they give us their life, no? They give us their heart, they give us their utmost care.
Yeah.
A leading woman, chef, sino siya para sa'yo?
Hindi siya si superwoman. Okay. I think it's, you know, somebody who, despite challenges and everything else, will show up not just for herself, but for others.
Maraming salamat, Chef Waya Wijangco. Maraming salamat for opening your heart, your hands, and your restaurant, and your thoughts to helping us understand how you're adapting, how you're coping, and how you are thriving in a situation like this. Maraming salamat for your time on Leading Women, and take care.
Thank you, Angel. Take care. Stay safe.
Salamat.